Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 6, the U.S. Postmaster General officially resigned today following controversy in his position. And as Klamath County is bringing public safety into the spotlight, the Sheriff's Office is doubling the county jail capacity.
Even warmer temperatures are expected for tomorrow after a pretty balmy March day today. Could even break some records tomorrow. I'll have the details coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
My thought is nobody's going to pick me up.
Right.
And it was terrifying to read the letter.
The letter informing Jacksonville residents that their insurance has been dropped for fire risk, despite the town leading the charge on fire-wise communities. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Haley Gravitt. NewsWatch 12's Rocky Walker looked into what's been happening.
Jacksonville has become a leader in wildfire preparedness here in the state of Oregon. But despite the work that community members and the owner of this property behind me, Sydney Harris, has done, this is a letter her and many other homeowners have gotten this weekend letting them know that their insurance has been dropped.
I just don't know what else a homeowner could do other than the things we have done.
Cindy Harris walks me through her property, telling all of the work her and her husband have done to lower wildfire risk.
We've maintained it. There's not a single blackberry vine.
Always keep it covered in mulch. The trees are not up against the house, and the ones that are even close are trimmed.
Despite this work, living in a fire-wise neighborhood, and community work done to mitigate fire risk, letters have been sent alerting multiple Jacksonville residents that their insurance was canceled for wildfire risk.
It felt like a form letter. I mean, and I'm sure everyone who is going to be canceled is going to get the same form letter. And there was nothing individualized.
This comes after many neighborhoods in the community, such as the street she lives on, has dedicated themselves to wildfire preparedness.
There's so much effort, and you think, is it a waste of time? Is that silly? Is that stupid? Are all these people wasting their time that once the insurance company or somebody puts out a map, that all their effort is meaningless?
I asked a local insurance agent why this may be happening. She says the insurance industry has been struggling, and fire-wise or not, the risk may be too much.
When we talk to underwriters, they don't even care. It started with the Alameda fire. That was horrible. We lost 2,500 structures. And then with what's happening in California, you know, the industry is really worried. I mean, they're losing billions of dollars.
In Jacksonville, I'm Rocky Walker.
And as we move closer to fire season, CAL FIRE now releasing the final zone of the California statewide wildfire hazard map. The map identifies areas most at risk for wildfires and provides guidance on how to mitigate those risks. CAL FIRE says insurance companies do not rely directly on these maps to assess the risk. A closer look at the map and to look up your city can be found on our website, kdrv.com. Let's check in with Storm Tracker 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman, tracking a pretty warm Monday for us, Matt.
It was a very warm Monday. Let's take a look at those readings. It was a beautiful day to get outside. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures into the upper 70s in Medford. 77 degrees right now. 71 in Mount Shasta. 71 degrees in Wairika. We're back down into the upper 50s now, though, in Gold Beach. Plenty of sun. If you're going to be enjoying that sunset along the coast this evening, be very cautious on the beaches. There is a beach hazard statement through noon tomorrow, a moderate risk for sneaker waves. Take a look at temperatures across the region. Starting to back off from our daytime highs for most spots. Still at 71 degrees in Klamath Falls, at 66 in Lakeview, 79 right now in Grants Pass. Pushing 80 degrees, and will likely top out at 80 or above in the Rogue Valley as we head into tomorrow. Tonight, mostly clear skies, some marine clouds and fog at the coast. A fairly mild start for tomorrow compared to what we've seen in recent weeks, but we will see a very warm day tomorrow. The potential for breaking some record highs tomorrow afternoon. Notice as we take a look at that day planner in the Rogue Valley, into the low 60s by the noon hour, and temperatures making a run towards 80. Highs will be up around 80 in the Rogue Valley tomorrow, upper 70s in Northern California. As you head towards Happy Camp and Soames Bar, will likely get well into the 80s. So beautiful day for maybe a round of golf, going for a hike. Looks great, but we got some big changes arriving on Wednesday and beyond as this week continues. I'll detail those changes to our weather coming up in just a bit. Haley.
Thank you, Matt. After allegations of sexual abuse at the McLaren Youth Correctional Facility came to light, Republican Medford Representative Kim Wallen urging the U.S. Attorney to initiate a federal investigation. Representative Wallen telling NewsWatch 12 the severity and extent of these allegations are deeply troubling. Firing one person at the top is not enough. It is imperative that we uncover the truth and ensure that such egregious violations of trust and safety are never repeated, end quote. The Oregon Youth Authority is scheduled to present its budget to the Joint Committee on Ways and Means this week, but the Republicans on the committee say they want to prioritize accountability over budget discussions. Governor Kotek also chiming in tonight on when her office was aware of the recent reports of at least 3,000 complaints against OYA employees. The governor says her office became aware of the backlog in mid-February while the investigation was ongoing. With the information her office had at that time, Director Joe O'Leary was put on administrative leave and later fired.
I had enough information to make a decision that I needed him to be on leave. The investigation has been ongoing, but by that point I had enough information to know that we had a significant problem there and that he needed to step aside, and then of course terminated him less than 30 days later.
And Representative Kim Wallen says weeks after revelations of the backlog allegations, no additional steps were taken to protect OYA youth. Wallen says firing one person at the top is simply not enough. Looking at an update, the U.S. Postmaster General DeJoy officially resigned today following controversy in his position. He announced plans to step down last month with no date set. Today's decision comes just weeks after deciding to cut 10,000 workers and billions of dollars from the Postal Service, and a day after nationwide protests.
Are we going to let them privatize the Postal Service? No!
This resignation is after 5 years in the office. Deputy Postmaster General Doug Tolino will be the interim Postmaster General until an official replacement is found. And the Klamath County Sheriff's Office has opened another pod in jail, nearly doubling its capacity. The county is trying to increase public safety by tackling understaffing. The Sheriff's Office says that increasing inmate capacity is a huge step to hold people accountable. The Correction Department was understaffed for 10 months. During that time, the district attorney was making pleas they wouldn't normally make. The new leadership in the county has now removed a funding freeze and invested money to bring the jail and sheriff's office back to full staff.
We're facing a giant problem if we don't find a fix and an alternate revenue stream to fund our sheriff's office. So forward thinking, we're trying some initiatives right now throughout the county with policing districts.
The county is using federal forest dollars that usually go towards roadways to instead fund the patrols on those roadways. On the upcoming ballot in May, East Klamath County can vote to approve a levy that would fund a sheriff's district made up of 4 deputies, a patrol sergeant, and a code enforcement officer. The area is often targeted for crime because of absentee landowners. The levy puts an equal weight on the landowners and the people who live and work in eastern Klamath. Now, levies are often voted down, but if the county doesn't have a new stream of funding, the correctional facility could once again be cut down operationally in just 24 months. You can head to KDRV.com to see a breakthrough of what landowners would pay to secure that new district. That is, if it's passed, and would be deductible around the county. This afternoon, a car crash in the front of Speedy Pack and Ship in Grants Pass. Kayla Wright telling NewsWatch 12 she witnessed the car hit the building. Wright said that the driver said her accelerator was stuck and she couldn't figure out why. No injuries were thankfully reported in this crash. Now, a mother bear and her cub were caught on camera wandering around Ashland. Tim Quintadamos spoke to her owner, and he says that he was blown away by how big they were.
I was shocked the size of the bear, the big bear. Wow. Standing next to my car, it was enormous. I mean, it was almost at the top line of the car compared to the cub, which came out 4 or 5 seconds later. And I thought, well, okay, that's only about 150 pounds. This one's at least 350 or more. It looked a little scraggly, but you know, it's out there looking for food as we speak.
Ashland resident Tom Baker says he was surprised to see bears in his driveway from his Ring camera late Saturday night, given that it's only March. But when the weather heats up, wildlife sightings in Ashland tend to go up as well.
This is Oregon. We live in the middle of a forest. What do? Nothing. You enjoy it, every minute of it. Enjoy all the animals that come out day or night, and just know where you're at. Know your place.
Baker says this pattern happens every year, so he recommends bear lock trash cans to keep wildlife from getting fed in your yard.
I recommend it highly. Spend the extra couple bucks a month. Put them on your property if you have a bear problem.
If you see a bear or another dangerous animal in your neighborhood, you should call your local police department or the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife to report the sighting. Head to our website to find more information how to report. So far this year, bear and cougar sightings have already been reported. In Ashland, I'm Tim Quidadamo.
And new at 6 tonight, if you opted for studded tires this winter, you have just 1 week to remove those tires to avoid being fined. Oregon state law allows studded tires to be used between November 1st and March 31st. Beginning April 1st, law enforcement can issue citations with a $165 fine. If you still plan on traveling over mountain passes, Oregon Department of Transportation is recommending using other types of traction tires or even chains. And happening now, Oregon State Parks is hosting Spring Whale Watch Week along the coast. Experts say more than 19,000 gray whales are expected to swim past Oregon shores in the next 3 months as they migrate to Alaska. Oregon State Park volunteers and rangers will be stationed along the coast to help you spot those whales and answer any questions you might have.